had a great comment the other night about wanting to win the cup for the guys that weren't here last season. Whether it was the players that joined the team before the start of the year or the players that were acquired at the trade deadline, can you just speak to the way that group complements the core group of players and kind of completes the picture to get to this place that you guys are today?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be here without them. I know I said it earlier, and it's nothing against what we had last year, years prior, but I just feel like if you're going to win it again, you need that fresh blood and you need that fresh intensity and the drive, and we have that as well, but you just need that little bit of a different look, and we have that this year, and love the new pieces that we have and that we were able to add, whether it was at the beginning of the year or at the deadline, and just their personalities have fit right in first and foremost, and their work ethic, and after that, their game speaks for itself. But we have some of the best guys in that room, and the new guys are just perfect additions. So, yeah, we really want to win it again for ourselves and for the guys that haven't experienced it yet, because it is the most incredible thing.
Matthew, two things, if I might. The first, one of the 7 million microphones on you last year during the final caught you in the handshake line, I think telling Connor, see you again next year, or something to that effect. Is that something you just say in that moment, or is that something you genuinely believe that it could very easily have been you two in the final again?
No, I believe that it was going to be us two again. I think we're the two best teams in the league. And if everything would go right, it would probably be us two again in the finals. I mean, I have that confidence in our team, and they were the best team that we played last year in the playoffs. So I stand by that, and I believed that at the time, and here we are again.
It turns out you were right, so there's that. Also, you've been asked this so many times, and I apologize, but now that you're almost through year 3 with Paul, why is he the perfect coach for this group? Why is he the right combination of crazy and smart and funny and silly and wise and all those things?
Yeah, it's he keeps things light, but he expects us to work our hardest, and very prepared, and can get you up. I know I've said this before, but can get you up for a Tuesday night game against Columbus or whatever in the middle of the year. It feels like a playoff game. So it's his speeches and his ability to get us to run through a wall. Each and every game is a big gift, but he gets the buy-in from the players, and he treats all of us the same, which I think is really important as a coach. Not to treat guys differently, and he expects us all to work hard and treat each other with respect and everything. But he treats us all the exact same. So. He's been a great coach, and super lucky to have him here. And it's been great so far.
Paul was saying earlier that basically, like, the coaches can only say so much about what it's like to be in the final. It's mostly focused on the ice stuff. So just what's been you and the other guys who've been here before? What's been your message to, like, the guys who haven't played in the final about just, like, handling the on ice expectations and pressure, handling the media circus and everything that goes with being in the Stanley Cup final? Just what have you told them about what the experience is like?
Yeah, nothing's really too different from the playoffs. They obviously, it gets a little bit crazier and crazier each round, but I mean, from the circus aspect, I don't think anything will be as crazy as playing when you're playing the Leafs. So it's not anything crazier than that. So the guys are prepared for that side of things, but no, I just think the day is off leading into it, and how to take care of yourself during those days, whether you're skating or you're doing off-ice workouts or whatever. It's, even though it's only 6 days in between, those days can go by very long, and you just want to be in that game one. So it's pretty similar to our how it's set up last year, and I thought we did a good job of getting prepared. And I just think that it's going to be a little bit different going to Edmonton this time around, but nothing's changing with our normal schedule. Whether it's a regular season, we're going up the day before. A few years ago, I remember we went to Vegas 2 days before. You have the whole media day the day before, so that part's a little bit different. But these guys are prepared, and we've seen pretty much everything in these 3 years, so nothing new for us, and the new guys will be just fine.
Matthew, there was a great moment after Game 5 in Raleigh where Paul asked you who should be in the photo. You said everyone, and you guys had that great picture. We always hear about the guys in the room and what we have in that room, but going through this now time and time again, how important is everyone outside the room as well to help you guys get where you are? Yeah,
I remember the first year, all the players raced to the trophy. We were so excited to win it. It was such an accomplishment at that time. and just the journey of just limping in and getting that, it was just crazy. And I remember last year, just, you realize after 2 years of doing it, it takes every single person, whether it's, players, coach, managers, trainers, chefs, like everybody, it takes the whole organization. So I thought it was, important, and not just me, like all the players felt the exact same way, that, everybody would get in the picture. So, it means a lot to everybody to get this far, and it's going to mean even more to hopefully get this one.
Matthew, I've got 2 questions. First, on the series itself, just what's the balance of taking what you can from last year's final and learning from how you guys were able to win that one versus treating this as a new series, as a new round between 2 teams?
Yeah, you use the experience because you had success. So there's some stuff you got to bring for sure. The momentum in games and everything, and you're used to the travel. That's long flights. I mean, that's not something that's going to be new for either team. The schedule's a little bit different this year. We don't have the crazy. I felt like last year it was like a 3-week, final with it going 7. Doesn't seem as long this year if we go 7, which both teams I'm sure are planning on. So I don't know, a little bit different, but I think from a personnel standpoint, there's some new pieces and some key pieces on each team that weren't there last year. So it's as much as people, it is a rematch and there's a lot of similar faces, but there's some fresh blood on both sides that are going to be very hungry and going to be difference makers in the series.
And then secondly, wanted to ask you about yesterday after practice. You guys did the walk together to honor the Gaudreau brothers. Just what did it mean for you to, first off, just make sure you were able to take part in that even though you weren't able to be up in Jersey, and then for the whole team to do it together? What did that mean to you?
Yeah, so, I mean, this kind of just happened really last second because, we were planning on, potentially being in Carolina for Game 7 today or whenever it was. So I know that once we won the second round, the girls and the families were talking about potentially doing something on the day to raise money and honor the Gaudreau brothers. And once we won in 5, we were able to partake. So talked to Bill right away, and the wives, girlfriends, and families were already going to do it. So I think it was just a bonus that the players and coaches and managers could join as well, and everybody was out there, which I thought was amazing. And I got to walk around Holiday Park and get to raise some money for the foundation, and just to honor them, I think, is really special, and it means a lot to me and Benny and guys that play with him and that knew him. So very, very special, and I know they're very appreciative, and I was just very happy that we were able to do it.
Along those lines, how cool was it for you that his jersey was out there when the guys won Worlds?
What's that? Sorry.
Out
there when they won Worlds. Yeah, it was awesome. I saw the video of Zach racing to the locker room to get it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't really pay too much attention to the tournament just because we were playing, and I know that his jersey was in our stall or in our locker room in its own stall for the 4 Nations, and it was great to see them honor that same tradition for the Worlds, and seeing Zach think of that immediately after they won and making sure he was going to be in that picture and on the cup. He means, Johnny obviously means so much to USA Hockey, and each player that he's played with, he's just had such a great impact on. So obviously Zach and him were super tight, and I just think just shows how special of a guy Johnny is to, immediately after they win, Zach thinks of him and then goes in the locker room and grabs the jersey. I thought it was awesome.
Have you stopped, back to you for a second, have you stopped to think about, you're still young, Matthew, you've a lot of years left in this game, and it's your 3rd Cup final. You've basically been the de facto host of an all-star game here. You were the face of 4 Nations, or one of the faces of 4 Nations. You took the cup into the water last year. I mean, you've done some stuff already. You're going to be, there's an Olympics in a few months for you. Have you stopped to realize how fast a lot of boxes have been checked off the list for you kind of already?
No, I'm just super lucky, I think. I feel like I'm not even halfway through my career, and I've been fortunate enough with so many great things that have happened and been blessed, and I think my life changed obviously when I got traded here, and everything's just been, it was incredible before when I was playing in Calgary, and it's been a whole different beast down here with things that have happened to me. So hoping to check another box here in a few weeks.
Matthew, you guys were in that position that Edmonton is last year, where you had come off a Stanley Cup final loss. Obviously, it wasn't a rematch for you guys, but just knowing what they're feeling as far as like a revenge and that sort of hunger. Obviously, you guys are hungry for another one as well, but does that kind of help maybe manage the emotions of just knowing where they are feeling and coming into this series?
Yeah, you think about it all summer. You think about this moment of getting back with a chance to compete for the Stanley Cup again, and we're the two lucky teams that get to do it. I mean, it's so hard to, and very few players are able to get a chance at one even. So, if you would have asked both of us in the middle of the summer if we have a chance to play for the Stanley Cup again at a rematch, like we would both race to sign that paper. So it's here. They're an unbelievable team. It's going to be a great battle. They're, I'm sure, chomping at the bit to get another chance at it. And I don't know. I think both teams are very happy to be in the finals, being able to compete for it again.
Matthew, I apologize if I'm putting you on the spot with this one, but a few minutes ago, you mentioned how Paul can make this team feel like it's ready to run through a wall. I'm wondering if there's an example you could give, something that stands out in your mind, either something funny he did, something clever, inspirational, that really had you guys where you couldn't wait for the puck to drop.
Oh, I mean, there's so many. It's going to be hard to think of just one, but yeah, I mean, there is such thing as dog days in anything you do, I'm sure, in any job and anything. And I know people might think that's crazy to think with the NHL, but there are some harder times if you're losing, if you're on the road for a while, whatever the case is. And he just finds a way to just when you think that everybody's feeling a little down or a little tired or maybe not fully into it, like he just finds a way to flip that switch in you and have you go, like I said, running through a wall for a random game mid-December on a Tuesday night or whatever the case is. So he does a great job at that, and it's a great gift to have.
Follow up on that. He was, I guess, mic'd up for Game 5, and he was calling you Chuckles. Is that new? How long has that been going on? And do you like that nickname?
Normally, I know him and a few of the guys in the past. I haven't really gotten a lot this year, but no, he normally says it when he's mad at me, so or yelling. So yeah, so I don't like hearing it too much.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks,